What's up, YouTube? Back at it again with another banger video. Christmas is less than a week away, so I thought we'd take a look at the issue of TMNT, the Michelangelo one-shot, the Christmas special. This is from the original Mirage run. This cover was drawn by Jim Lawson. See, it's Michelangelo saving the cat Klunk. The cat's face is a little bit haunting. But it's a good cover. I like it. I think it's done with airbrush, and Jim Lawson does the backup story in this issue, not the main story. This image is taken from the main story, but we'll dive right in. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, the creators, they do this first story. So in the beginning, we have Michaelangelo. He's out enjoying the snow, and he's in the park, and he's watching people have snowball fights and ice skate, make snow angels. He sees some kids sledding. Michaelangelo in this issue seems pretty young. He seems like he could be about 13. The kids are sledding. They let Michaelangelo have a turn, and he lands in a giant pile of snow. They ask him if he's sick. They mention that he looks a little green. After leaving the park, he decides that maybe he'll go down to the shopping mall for a little while, since his disguise seems to be working, his hat and scarf covering his face. And he sees this stray cat, the cat that we saw from the cover. He picks it up and puts it in his coat to keep it warm. And we get this splash page. This awesome splash page of the shopping center. In this comic, they go a little crazy with the snowflakes. I think they overdo it a little bit. Maybe you don't have to have so many white dots on the page. But whatever, that's a small complaint. Michaelangelo, he's walking by all the stores, and he comes by Chet's Toys, this toy store. And he sees all these different toys in the window. And there are some little Easter eggs hidden in here. I'll point them out as we come across them. I'm sure I'm missing some of them. But inside the toy store, Michelangelo, he sneaks in with this family with a bunch of kids. And he just hides amongst the kids. So if you look closely, I'm not sure you can see anything in this panel, but in this panel here, you've got a Stormtrooper helmet. You've got Fugitoid. He's appeared in earlier Ninja Turtle stories. You have Megaton Man. You have some Mousers that are also from earlier issues. We get a montage of Michaelangelo playing with the different toys. He dresses up as this Captain Demento, and he calls the cat Klunk, and the name sticks. So him and Klunk are playing with these toys. He finds this toy, this little hopping robot, and it scares the cat. The cat takes off, and he runs to the back of the store, the employees-only area. And Michaelangelo follows him, and he comes across these guys in the back who are holding up the store. They're robbing the truck, the delivery truck. Now, earlier in this story, go back a page, you hear these customers talking with the cashier about the little orphan alien toy. It's kind of the Cabbage Patch Kid. Was only a few years before this comic, and it's kind of playing off of that craze. She says, sorry, miss, we're temporarily sold out. There'll be a new shipment any day. And the customer says, "Oh dear, I'll try again later. They're so cute, but so hard to find." Well, we see a shipment of those is being robbed. He says, "Come on, fellows. This whole truck full of little orphan aliens is being donated to the Brown Street Children's Home." And one of the guys robbing the truck knocks him out. This drawing of this truck driver really looks a lot like Ronald Reagan to me. I'm not sure if he was referenced for it. So the guys robbing the truck, they say that these toys will go for a lot of money on the black market. It's the hottest toy of the Christmas season. They hear Michaelangelo moving around behind the boxes, and they realize that they're being watched. So this guy lays down some suppressing fire while the other guys get away, and Michaelangelo, he chases after them. They close up the doors to the back of the trailer, and the work light that was inside its cable gets closed in the doors, and Michaelangelo chases after, and he grabs that cable, and he's pulled along behind the truck as they make their getaway. You see, he unlocks the back of the trailer, he climbs in. The guys, they stop at a stoplight, and one of them says, go back there and check, see if he's still back there. Michaelangelo, he hides the cat. Those guys go back there with guns. They check to see if Michelangelo's still back there. And he is, and he hops out. He beats up two of them, but the driver, he slams on the gas and he gets away. Michaelangelo, he loses him for a second, but he's able to run through an alley and catch up to him around the corner. And he hops onto the back of the truck, climbs up onto the roof, jumps onto the cab, slips off, is dangling on the side of the truck, punches through. This comic has a lot of action in it. Michaelangelo, he punches through the window, he pulls the guy out of the truck. The police catch the guy. Michaelangelo says that if the police get the truck, though, they'll take all those toys and put them in evidence. They'll confiscate them. He says that he has to get it back to the toy store. So he's driving back towards the toy store. He starts getting followed by the police because that truck's been reported as stolen. He figures out what's going on. He crashes into the police car. He spins out the police car that's chasing him. He realizes that there's a roadblock. There's nowhere for him to turn. So he has to ram the roadblock. That's another cool splash page. He gets past the roadblock. He stores the truck in this alley, this dark alley. The police miss it. He checks the back of the truck and he finds Klunk. Make sure Klunk's okay. He and Klunk go find his brothers, ask for some help. So when he gets back to April's apartment, he explains the story to his brothers of what's happened that day. He shows April the cat, and she really likes it. She adopts the cat. And his brothers decide that they'll go help him. They've got a plan. They pile into April's van. They take it across town back to where Michaelangelo had hid the truck. They unload the truck, put it all into the van, and when they get to the orphanage or the children's home, it's revealed that they've all dressed up as elves and Santa Claus, and they're giving the toys away to the orphans. And if you look really closely, you can see right here it says our founder Chet Brown. Now the toy store was named Chet Toys, so it makes sense that the toy store is donating these toys to this children's home, considering that the toy store owner is the founder of this orphanage. So that's the end of the main story. We get this double page spread dividing up the stories. This one's by Jim Lawson, same guy who did the cover. We get this backup story, A Christmas Carol. It's basically a retelling of the Christmas Carol story, the classic story, but with the turtles. This one focuses on Raph. So Raph is being in a bad mood. He's being a Grinch. He decides he's going to go for a walk. He's annoyed by Christmas cheer. And while he's off running the rooftops, he hits some ice and he slips. He slips and he lands in an alley and he hurts himself. And he crawls down under these stairs and he decides to rest for a little bit. And while he's resting, this guy comes out of the snow. And at first he thinks it's just some homeless guy or something. But the guy's leaving no footprints. So Raphael figures out he must be a ghost. The guy explains that he's the ghost of Christmas past and that he's here to teach Raphael a lesson. So they go back in time. This is the last Christmas that they had in the sewers. And he says, "See how happy you were back then?" Raphael says that he's always felt apart from them because of his seriousness and his intensity. He talks about how the foot attacked them when they were at April's apartment and that Leonardo almost died. Then he's visited by a second ghost, Christmas Present, and he's able to look in on his family and hear them talk about him. One of them says, "I hate to ruin the mood, but shouldn't we go looking for Raph? Why bother? I'm sure he'd much rather be alone. I guess if he doesn't want us to be here, why force him?" The ghost says that your brothers seem to have accepted your independence. Raphael says they sound a little bitter. They have a different set of values than you, Raphael. Raphael asks, "Is that why you're here, to change my values?" She says, "No, I'm merely a guide." Then he's visited finally by the ghost of Christmas future, and he sees the future version of himself living in a swamp. He's all by himself. He's kind of gone feral living in this swamp. It's always interesting to see the different versions of futures that the Ninja Turtles can have. He realizes that he's all alone, that Splinter's gone, that his brothers are gone. When he wakes up, he's in the alley. He runs back home. And he looks in on his family having a fun Christmas, and he says, "Merry Christmas, guys." So I think he learned to appreciate his family a little bit more. We get a cool Mark Bodie drawing, an advertisement for coming in December, Shell of the Dragon. I'm not sure if it's Bodie or Baudet. I think he says Bodie. So that's the Michaelangelo Christmas special. Each turtle had their own one-shot in the original run of Ninja Turtle comics. There was the Donatello one, I think it started off with Raphael, and then Donatello. I think Michelangelo was maybe third, and then Leonardo. But they're all good, all worth checking out. If you enjoyed this video, press like. Please comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.